Artlist.io. Music licensing reimagined. Artlist.io. Music licensing reimagined. Artlist.io. Music licensing reimagined. Artlist.io. Music licensing reimagined. Artlist.io.
What do we think of that?
Music licensing reimagined.
I don't know. That's sort of some 80s music. Julie was asking for 80s music yesterday. That kind of works. I don't know. We'll see. What else should we play here? Let's. We got 15 seconds.
Artlist.io.
Man, just when it's getting good. I don't know. You all have to let me know what you think of this. These musical choices. How's everybody doing today? Day 3. The final day of the Go Live Challenge. You have learned so much so far. You're starting to implement it and put it into practice, and I love that. I love seeing your homework. I love engaging with you in the comments there. I would really love to know what your aha was from day 2. So if there was something magical that you got out of yesterday's session where we talked about hooks, drop it in the comments and we will look at it here in a second. This is also a great opportunity to make sure that you have the workbook for today. Here's what that sucker looks like. It's got eyeballs on it on the very front and center. We're going to talk about how you connect with your audience. And yes, Stories help you connect, but there's more than that. It is about eye contact. We're going to talk about how the heck you do that when you are on video and not like in real life with real people. But before we get into that, let's go back to what was your biggest aha from day 2? So we talked a little bit about figuring out, we talked about why you should start with a hook, what that does for your videos, what that does for your audience. We talked about how you figure out the hook that you create, which is to start with the problem that your audience has that this video solves, and how to pick that particular hook. That was your homework from yesterday. So super simple, but not always easy, right? Sometimes we get in our own head with those. So I would love, let's see if we got any ahas being shared here. Okay. Oh, thank you. I'm so glad that you're getting so much value. That means the world to me. That's exactly why I share it, is to give value. So hello. It's so good to see everybody. Yes, learn so much. All of it. I love it. You guys are digging it. Okay, so nothing specific from the hooks, huh? Interesting. Okay. Well, today we are going to move past hook, story, call to action, because you've learned all 3 parts of the model, and we're going to put it all together today, in addition to talking about that, the importance of eye contact, okay? If we have anybody new on, or new to this challenge, new to me, if this is the first video that you're watching, hello, welcome. Glad to have you in our space. My name is Jamie Hain, and I am a video and growth coach. And eye contact is something that I recognized really early on. So I'm going to share just a teeny tiny story here. I worked for many, many years, more than I care to admit, corporate. I talked a little bit about that yesterday. And when I finally got up I don't know if courage is the right word, but I decided that I was done and I was quitting. My husband and I took a little road trip and we RV'd for a bit of time. And when it was time to like come back to reality, it was time to get a job. And so I hired my first ever coach. And the whole intention was help me find a job. And I think we were in our first session. I don't even know that it was the second session. And she said, Jamie, I am getting the feeling, the vibe that you don't want to do this. And I'm like, no, I don't want to do this. I don't want to go back to that misery. And she said, okay, well, why don't you become a coach? And at that time, I was like, I don't even know what you're talking about. Like, I didn't even know that you all were out here and that this even existed. And so she gave me some homework and she gave me some people to go and check out and watch. And just so I could get a feel for it. And while I was like, oh my gosh, this is so awesome. I have to be part of this. Like, I just knew I had to be part of it in some way. One of the big ahas for me is, why are these people not looking at me? Like, why is the eye contact off? And I very quickly realized, and that actually helped me, like, push me into, I can help coaches who don't know how to do this in the right way. And obviously that turned into way more than just eye contact, but that's kind of my experience with eye contact, okay? So let's just get right in and talk about it. I've already talked about this. Hold on here. Wrong one. Hang on. There it is. Okay, so in your workbook, you have this first page is really about why eye contact is important. So I'm gonna have you kind of just follow along with me, and then we will actually plan a video at the end, or help plan your video. So you have likely heard that, I think it was Shakespeare that said it first, that the eyes are the windows to the soul. You've heard this, yes? Right? So what the heck does that mean? It means that is the point that we connect with people. It's how we speak to them on a deeper level, is by looking them in the eyeballs, right? And we learn this. We learn this in school. We learn this as adults. You probably feel it when people who are talking to you aren't making eye contact. You probably recognize that way more than when they do, because it feels off, right? It just feels, ugh. So the real important question here is, how in the heck do you do that when you are doing video and there's no people? There's no people to make eye contact. You're looking at a computer. You're looking at an inanimate object. So how do you connect with them? Well, what you're going to do is you're going to, where is it? There he goes. You're going to look at the camera lens. I like to refer to it as the black hole of death. You will hear me call it that over and over and over again, because it is awful. It's awful to be infectious, compelling, captivating, whatever word you want to use, when you are not looking at a person's eyes, you're not looking at a person's face, you're looking at an inanimate object. It's hard. And to make it even more hard, what happens when you first go live? What is the first thing you see when you go live? Whether it's on your phone or your computer, what's the first thing that pops up? Yeah, your own face. So what happens is your brain goes, oh, there's a person. You need to talk to that person. You need to make eye contact with that person. So those of you that are like, it feels so conceited, or it feels like I got a big ego because I'm watching myself. It's more than that. It is your brain, your inner working saying, you have learned your whole life that you are supposed to look people in the eyes. So instead of looking at this inanimate object, look at that person. It's just more comfortable. The problem is it's not comfortable for the people watching. So what I want to do is just a little bit of a demonstration so that you can see what I'm talking about. Okay, so let me move this guy out of the way here. Okay, so just to be clear, I do not want you to do this. Do not do this, okay? Do not. Okay, you ready? I need something to talk about. Oh, shoot. I'll just do my peanut butter and jelly. Okay, so here we go. Hi, everyone. It is so great to have you here. Have you ever wanted to elevate your peanut butter and jelly sandwiches? And as a result of wanting to elevate that, maybe your kids would stop complaining. And so what I want you to learn today is, okay, right now, as I'm talking, how does this feel to you as the viewer? How does it feel? Give me some reactions in the comments. It feels good to me because I'm looking at me and I kind of like me. But it's easy for me because I'm looking and I'm making eye contact. Now, this is probably an extreme. It might not be quite this obvious, but I'm doing it intentionally so that you can see the difference. Okay? Now I want you to do it this way. Hi, everybody. Welcome. I'm so glad that you are here. How do you feel about peanut butter and jelly? Do you like grilled peanut butter and jelly sandwiches? Well, I have a great tip for you today to elevate that bad boy even more. Okay, now, how does that feel in comparison? I'm going to pull up some comments and see what you all say. Amanda says off. It feels off. Yes, it feels off, right? And it may not even be something that your viewer consciously thinks about. It's not like they're sitting there and they're thinking, wait a minute. She's looking at herself on that camera. She's not looking at me. They don't think that. What they think is, I don't know. I just didn't really vibe with her. So I just didn't get her. Like I didn't connect with her. I wasn't feeling it. That's what they're going to think. Okay? But the reality is you want to make them feel like you are making eye contact with them, that you are only there talking to them. Because in a way you are. They're there on their phones. They're just scrolling. They're just watching. It is just the two of you. There's nobody else here. So you want to give them that feeling that you're right there in the room with them. That's how you connect. And what happens is when you connect in that way, they are more able to absorb, pick up, feel, whatever word you want to use, what you're saying. It's way easier. Now, it's hard for you to do this. So I'm going to give you some tips today that are going to make it a little bit easier. Okay? All right, let me see if there's any other comments before we move on. Michelle says it feels way more engaging. Yes. Laura says big difference. Big difference. Amanda says all this time I've struggled to look at the camera and now I see what they're seeing. Sometimes you have to experience it, right? And I will say this, and I am so sorry. I'm so sorry. I have now ruined videos. Anybody else's videos, you are ruined forever because now you won't be able to stop seeing it. Every video you're going to watch, you are going to be noticing it. And now you know why it feels off. Now you know why that connection point is not there because they're not looking at you in your eyeballs. Yes? Okay. Okay. Hold on here. Lisa, you must have watched my live yesterday. No, I haven't. But this is the whole point of this challenge is so that you all can see it and you're learning. You're learning as you go. Okay. Heather says, I'm not sure I see the difference. I'm not sure the difference that people are seeing. Okay, let me show you again. All right. Okay, so this is the not way to do this, okay? So I'm going to say, hi, Heather. How are you? It's so great to talk with you. I'm so glad that you're here with me live. So right now, Heather, and anybody else, how does this feel? Do you feel connected with me as I'm talking to you this way? Versus, hi, Heather. How are you? What's going on? What's happening in your world? I can't wait to share this awesome thing that I'm going to share in this video. Now, do you see the difference? Hopefully you do. The difference is the first way, I'm looking at myself on my screen. What I want you to start doing is not looking at yourself down here, but I want you to look up here at the camera. So let's talk about how the heck we make that happen, okay? First thing you've got to do is figure out where your camera is. So if you are using your phone, you got to find it. It's sometimes it can be off center just a little bit, depending on your phone type. Sometimes you have to get the light just right, and you will see a little circle. It's not the line. The line is your microphone. It's off to the side of that, okay? If you're using your computer, obviously if you have this kind of camera, right? You can see where the black hole of death is. If you don't have an external USB camera and you're just using what's integrated in your monitor or your laptop, you gotta look for that little circle, right? It is not always the colored light. Sometimes that's just a light bulb and the camera is just off center for that. Okay, so what you can do if you're not sure you're finding it, is go into let me think here. Honestly, the best thing you can do is go live in my group and just practice. But you can create your own Facebook group if you want to. But here's what I want you to do. I just want you to say out loud so that you know what you're looking at. Okay, right now I'm looking at the light. Right now I'm looking at the circle. Right now I'm looking at, so that you can see the difference and you know where to look. Okay, now I will warn you, Zoom works a little bit different. So if you are going live into Zoom, into your group, it's a little bit of an adjustment. The best tip I can give you is look at your forehead. And that seems to be the magical space. I know it's weird, but it is what it is. Okay, so now that you know where to look, now it gets really hard. Because it's this inanimate object, and how are you supposed to be animated and like have fun and not drag your eyes down? What happens is your brain goes, no, look down there. There's a person down there. Talk to that person. Okay, so you have a couple of choices. Tip number one is to use my favorite Post-it notes. So what you can do is grab a Post-it note, and what I would recommend is marker, draw an arrow on your Post-it note. And then put this Post-it note so that that arrow lines up exactly where you're supposed to be looking. Now you have a reminder as you are going live. It covers your face, so you're not looking at your face anymore. You're not distracted. Your brain doesn't pull your eyes down, and you line this up so you know exactly where you're supposed to be looking. It's like a little reminder. Okay. You can also write your notes on these Post-it notes. We talked about that earlier in the week, so that now your notes are right where you need them. Works really good. If you are using your computer, this Post-it note likely will not cover your face. So typically what I will do is get out a white piece of paper. You all see me do this. Those of you that have done VIP, you've learned about Post-it notes. I might put my arrow on there so that I have the reminder that I need. Now this piece of paper is now blocking my view so that I'm not distracted by myself. Now, before you even say, but what about seeing comments and what about seeing all the other stuff? Yeah, get out a scissors, cut the sections you need, or just put it off center so that you can still see the comments or whatever else you need to see on screen, okay? But I will tell you, if those comments and people joining distract you, maybe it's okay to keep them covered up. Just saying. Okay, I just put my thing away. Okay, so that is tip number one. Use a Post-it note or a piece of paper to block that and remind you where you're supposed to be looking, okay? This also, in and of itself, inanimate object. It helps. Maybe it's not enough for you. So tip number two is to get a photo. So just because I don't have a photo handy, so we're going to use a Post-it note. Pretend this is a photograph of your best friend. your husband, your child, your mom, your dog, it doesn't matter who, but somebody that is easy for you to talk to. If you want to get a photo of somebody, maybe from the internet or from a magazine, that looks like what you imagine your ideal perfect person looks like, that works even better. So now you have a face. It's a photo. It's a real person. And you do the same thing with it. You might even, if you want, put a little arrow like that and line it up to remind you of, this is my ideal person. This is somebody who's easy for me to talk to. I'm going to line up that arrow right where I need to be looking. Sometimes this is easier because this feels more real than just an arrow. Okay? I want to tell you a funny story. Stephanie Thompson, who's in this group, she took it to a whole new level. And she actually got a photo of her best friend, and she took a scissors, and she cut out the eyes of the photo, like this, okay? See if I can do this quickly. Nope. I'm going to end up cutting myself here. She cut out the eye, like this. Can you see that? Okay, see the hole? Okay, so then she mounted this so that the camera lens was right on that eyeball. It worked perfect. Until her best friend came over and said, why you got pictures of me with my eyes cut out? So if you're going to go that route, make sure that you communicate with the person whose photo you are using so that they don't feel like you're playing some sort of voodoo magic on it. Okay? Okay. I want to give you just a little side tip here. If you are somebody who struggles with, oh my gosh, I'm going live and there's all these people watching me, that can really get in your head if you're somebody who gets nervous going live. So what is easier sometimes is to not think in your head, I'm going live and I'm talking to so many people, and instead think, I'm going live and I'm just talking to one ideal person. There may be 10 people on, there may be 20 people on, there may be 100 people on, but I'm focusing just on my one perfect person. And what you will find is that your entire demeanor changes, your talk track changes. You are talking to only one person instead of a group, and they will feel it just as much as you do. So just a little bonus tip for you there. Okay. Okay. Before I give you tip number 3, are there any questions on the Post-it note with the stick, with the arrow, or the photograph before I move on to the next piece? Okay. Let's see if we got any questions in here. Okay, Laura says, sometimes on my phone or my iPad, I can't see where the lens is and I forget which side it's on. Yep, so now you know that's just gonna need to be part of your routine. I promise you, once you do it a number of times, you won't be able to forget where it is. You'll get it, but you gotta be consistent with it, and that's why those Post-it notes are helpful. You might only need to use this for a couple weeks. I think Stephanie said the photo of her friend, she only had to do it for like a month, and then she was like, I'm good, I don't need it anymore. So sometimes this is like a training wheel that helps you train your brain where to look and train how you are visualizing your perfect person as you talk to them. So it can be an adjustment, okay? It can be an adjustment. All right. Debbie says, okay, this is so interesting. Debbie said, on the bad example, it seemed fake. On the good example, it seemed better inflection. But yet I think I did the same inflection on both. Maybe not. It's possible that my, inside brain changed it up. But what I want to call out is your people might feel that too. Something to be aware of. Just saying. Okay. Lori says, what about moving your laptop lid up and down? Okay. So for those of you that are in VIP, you are getting a whole separate video on camera angles. So know that is coming. But like, if I change that, it does change how I feel. But it's not going to necessarily change your eye contact, because if you're still looking down here, whether I have it here or anywhere, it's not changing where my eyes are going. Okay. So eye contact should be to the camera lens. Okay. Okay. Lisa says, oh my God, I can't do it. It's hard. It takes practice, right? But here's the deal. You can do hard things. Every once in a while, somebody will say something like, it just feels like disrespectful. It feels disrespectful. Oops, here. It feels disrespectful that I'm looking at this lens. Okay, so I'm gonna ask y'all right now, does it feel disrespectful? No, it feels connection point, right? When you are looking down, that's when it feels disrespectful, right? So you got to switch your mindset there. But it does take some practice. Absolutely. Okay. Okay. All right. So let's talk about tip number 3. If the Post-it notes don't work, get an object. So what am I talking about with an object? It could be something like a little palm, a little face. I think it would be fun to have one of those little troll dolls, with the big fuzzy hair on the top. I think that would make your energy be different because now you're going live and you're talking to this cute little girl or this cute little palm. Sometimes because that photo is 2-dimensional, it still has that weird vibe feel. So adjust it and do something that's not 2-dimensional, that's 3-dimensional. So shift it from something flat to something that you see. We had somebody that did this challenge. This was a while ago. He did skeletal, like not adjustments, but like healing you from the inside out. And there was very much about the skeleton and the bones and all of how the body all works together. And so he got a skull and he put the skull right over the camera. And so he's literally making eye contact with the skull, which is connected to it was brilliant and it works for him. So you've just got to kind of figure out what works for you. Okay. Now, I want to talk a little bit about, do I want to go here? Where are we at on time? Okay. How about this? You guys vote. Those of you that are on live, do you want tips now or do you want me to wrap up and then do tips afterwards? So if you want tips now, type tips in the comments and I'll give you a tip right now. If you want me to wrap it up, give you your homework so you can move on, those of you that need to. Since you're here live, I'm going to let you vote. How's that sound? It is a really, really crazy delay. Wow, I can't believe how long this delay is. Okay, you're saying tips. Okay, here's the other thing. How do you make this feel more natural? Because what's going to happen is, you know how we tend to learn something and then we swing way too far and we go overboard with it? Okay, so what will happen is now that you're like, I've got to look at the camera lens. What happens is you go into overdrive and you're like, I'm never going to break eye contact. I'm never looking away from the black hole of death. I'm going to just stare at it and not move for fear that I will adjust. And is that going to seem normal and natural? No. It's going to be really creepy. Okay? So I do not want you to be like, whoever blinks first loses. Like, I'm going to just stay right here. Don't do that. Okay? What I want you to think about is when you are in real life and you are having a conversation with somebody, you make eye contact, but you also look around, right? And you might look down at your notes and you might go talk to somebody, but then you come back to their eye contact. Same thing in video. Same thing. I want you to think about that camera lens is home base. And I want you to feel comfortable looking around, looking outside while you're talking, looking at the light, looking at your notes, whatever else it is, but spend more time here than here or here or here or wherever else it is. Okay? Think about it like I'm going to spend the majority of my time here, but it's okay for me to look away. Especially those of us who are introverts, we tend to think and we look up, right? It's okay. Do it. Just spend more time here than anywhere else and you'll be good. Okay? All right. I got more tips, but that was the big one that I wanted to make sure I covered here in this, at least in this first part. All right. Are you ready to dive into your homework and what you're going to do next? All right. Let's do it. Your homework, first and foremost today, is you'll have a post, homework day number 3, to say, how are you going to make eye contact? What I'm looking for here is, which of these tips are you going to use? Are you going to use the Post-it note with the arrow? Are you going to get a photo of a friend? Are you going to try and get an image of what your ideal client looks like? Are you going to go and get an object? Where did my objects go? That you're going to put somewhere. Which way are you going to do this? It's okay to just pick one and try one and see if it works. And if it works, great. If it doesn't work, try something else. Okay? Now, that is not all of your homework. You now have to put all of this together to have your plan for going live. And in your workbook, you have a place to kind of get everything aligned, right? What is my hook? What are the 2 or 3 points I'm going to cover? What is the story I'm going to share? And what is my call to action? All on one page. Those of you that are in VIP, you can use the Post-it note model that you learned, was it yesterday? That you learned yesterday, okay? So in this particular case, my hook is, are you sick and tired of the kids complaining about peanut butter and jelly? Right? Then the information that I'm going to share in my video is why you should use mayo instead of butter. Why does it elevate the flavor? Why does it make it so much better? Why will your kids love it? And I'm going to tell the story about this time that I did a taste test with my husband. I can move those bullet points around, especially if I'm using Post-it notes. What do I want to talk and what is the order that I want to talk about it in? And then my call to action is, I want you to type mayo in the comments if you're going to try this. Now, I want to call this out because a couple of you, I pushed you on you sharing your call to action on whatever day that was, Tuesday. Because your call to action was something like, I want you to try it and then let me know how it goes. Or I want you to do this thing. You go and do it. The challenge with those call to actions is that you miss out on getting comments on your video. So one of the ways that you can get around that is by having people type something that is a commitment statement that they will go and do it, that they will try to do it. So in this case, what I really want people to do is make the sandwich with mayo instead of butter. But I'm not going to get any engagement if I ask them to just do that. So I'm going to say instead, I want you to type mayo in the comments if you are going to attempt to make this sandwich. See how that is? See how that works different? Okay. Your homework, now that you've got all the parts and pieces together, is to go live. Where is my go live thing here? Nope, that's not it either. Is this it? I'm all over the place. How about we just stay here? Okay, so you are now tasked with going live. It is your turn. It is your turn to practice and implement everything that you've learned this week. Are you ready? Type in the comments. See what I'm doing right here? Type in the comments, go live if you are ready to do this. I'm asking for your commitment as my call to action inside this video so that I get those comments instead of just saying, go and do it and I'll never hear from you again. It's not that they don't have the intention of coming back and telling you. We just forget. So ask them to make that commitment statement, okay? All right. Let's go through where is it? Hold on here. Here's what you've learned. You've learned a lot this week. You learned to plan the end first. What's my call to action? What are the points that I'm going to make? Then you plan your hook. How am I going to grab that viewer attention? And all along, you're making great eye contact. Hook, story, call to action. It is super simple. You can do this for all sorts of videos. I still use it today. In fact, I still often cover with Post-it notes. I still need to because my brain just goes where it needs to go. It's got a mind of its own sometimes, okay? So now you are ready to go live and you are ready to do this thing. There it is. My fly-ins aren't working so great here today. That's okay. All right, let's talk a little bit about prizes, okay? So in order to get your prizes, you've got to go live. That is numero uno. In fact, I'm going to say this. If you don't want to go back and drop your homework in the homework spaces, that's okay. That is really more just so that I can be there to help coach you and help you adjust if I feel like you need to do that. So those homework posts are still out there, but I don't want you to feel like you have to go back and hit all of them. Numero uno, in order to get the prizes, is you got to go live. If you go live before Sunday at midnight, this weekend, Sunday, so you've got today, tomorrow, Saturday, Sunday, you got 4 days to finish this up and to go live inside the Get on Camera group. If you do that, I'm going to DM you a link and you can join the Go Live League for $1. Your first month is $1. On Monday, I will do another live. Everybody who's gone live by Sunday, I'm going to spin the wheel and somebody's going to win 3 months for free in the Go Live League. Oh, yes. So exciting. So exciting. Okay. But that's the cutoff is Sunday. Got to get it done by end of day Sunday. If you don't get it done by end of day Sunday, all you're going to miss out on is the drawing, because that's going to happen on Monday. So if you aren't worried about the drawing and you just want to make sure that you earn your dollar entry into the Go Live League, you can go live next Monday, next Thursday, next Saturday. It doesn't matter. As long as you do it in the month of October, I'm going to give you a coupon so that you can join for $1. How's that sound? Everybody clear on what you're supposed to do and what the prizes are? I hope so. Okay. I want to take just a minute and talk about the Go Live League. And really just focus on the results that you're going to get. Yesterday, I talked a little bit about what's in it and how it works. Today, I want to talk about what you can expect. And so I've come up with the 6 C's. We talked about the C-suite earlier, so this is a different kind of C-suite. If you want to be more competent, if you want to be more confident, I should have had comfortable. How could I forget comfortable, right? If you want your messaging and what you share and how you talk about things to be more compelling, more captivating. Oh my gosh, all these C words, right? If you want to connect with your people more, if you want to, as a result of that connection, get more comments. I could keep going with the C's. We could just keep going and going and going, right? That is the key to what you really want, which is conversion. What you really want is to monetize your Facebook group. You want to sell your offers and your programs. You want to get people to download and pay for your courses, your files, your whatever else. You want conversions, right? And so the Go Live League helps you do all of that because it is how you master this camera. And it's not just about camera skills. Yes, we will talk about cameras and microphones and lighting and all of that, but I'm here to tell you that does not move the needle forward. There are lots and lots of people who only use their cell phone. No fancy equipment here, and they're making lots of money. It is about how you come across in those videos that is all of these words. And when you learn how to do something and you practice doing it and you get a little coaching from me on adjusting this and adjusting that, this is what can happen. Okay. So, if you go live, your first month is $1. It's $1. $1. And you can consume as much as you want in that $1. It renews automatically at $33 a month, as long as you want to stay in there with us. You can cancel at any time. You can cancel it on your end. You don't even have to reach out to me to cancel. You can cancel it on your side. If you know that you're ready to make this commitment and you're like, no, I need this, I want this, then the best deal that you can get is to pay for the whole year up front and do an annual membership. Now that renews every year, so you got to make sure you don't lose sight of that. But if that's the case, instead of that $1 first month, you can pay the whole year for $2.95. You're basically getting 3 months free if you do it that way. So you decide which is best for you, what sort of investment and commitment you want to make. But I hope you'll come and join us in the Go Live League. It is a wonderful, amazing group of people who are just there they're in the same situation that you are in. They want to be better on camera. They want to sell more. They want to be more comfortable, confident, compelling, all of these words, right? And they're moving forward. They're learning and they're doing it. And it is honestly, it makes me so, it is probably one of the things in my business that I'm just so inspired by, because it's amazing what that little bit of money, it's a small investment, can do for your business. Okay, so that's the Go Live League. If you have questions, let me know. I'm happy to message back and forth if you want to know more about it or if you have questions about it. I know pretty much anybody who's in the Go Live League would happily answer any questions that you have, would happily tell you what they think of it, what they get out of it. All you got to do is ask. Let me know if you need to speak to somebody, or if you just want to post a note in the Get on Camera group and say, I want to talk to somebody who's in the Go Live League. I want the real scoop. I promise you they will come flocking in to tell you all about it because they love it as much as I do. Okay? All right. Let's see here. Oh, you guys are awesome. I love seeing all the support for the Go Live League. Oh, you guys are the best. It's awesome to have a community around you, right? I will tell you, part of the Go Live League, we also do on every call, we always have some time to say, what else do you need help with? What else do you want to talk about? And I don't hold back. Today, of all topics, we talked about bookkeeping and how you make sure you pay your taxes. So we focus on video. The primary focus is there, but there's always time for anything else that you might need. So it's a really cool little thing. All right. What else do I want to say? I think that's it. What questions do you have about anything that you have learned inside this challenge? Whether it's hook, story, call to action, whether it's eye contact. Let's focus there first. What questions do you have for that? And then I'll take any other questions that you have. Oh, I know what I was going to say. One other thing I was going to say. Monday, I'm going to do the drawing at this same time on Monday. I'll create an event in the group and I'll make sure that I invite all of you, but it'll be at 12 noon Mountain Time on Monday. I'll spin the wheel, but I also thought it would be super fun to make that just an open Q&A. So for those of you that are going live and you're going to be implementing everything you've learned in this challenge today, tomorrow, Saturday, Sunday, questions are going to come up and you're going to be like, oh, wait a minute. I thought I had it, but I didn't have it. And now I need help. So that call on Monday will not only be spin the wheel, but open Q&A. Okay, so I hope you'll come and join us for that. If you can't join us on Monday, I will put a post in the group for you to drop any questions or challenges that you have, and then I'll answer them on the recording for you. What do you think? You like this idea? Yeah? I like it too. Okay, let me see if you got any other questions. I do have a couple other tips that I want to share here. Okay, let's see here what we got. I love Amanda. Okay, I'll go live. It's still a commitment, so I will take it. Look at all the go lives. You're all excited to go live. I love it. Okay, Sharon asked a really good question. Would you then follow up with them if somebody says Mayo? You bet your butt I would. Yes, right? That shows engagement. Now, I would not just immediately follow up with them and pitch them something. Okay, that feels icky. And those of you that have had that happen to you, you know how icky that feels, right? So I would start with, hey, I saw that you commented Mayo in the group. I just want to follow up. Did you try it? Did you like it? Did any questions come up? Anything that you want to share? Start there. They're going to be 10 times more likely to answer you back. I'm talking about whether you voice note or DM, right? For sure. And then say, okay, now that you've done it, what are you thinking? You're thinking maybe you're going to buy my cookbook? Is there anything I can do? Any questions you have about the cookbook or whatever it is that you're selling? You betcha I would follow up. 100%. Yep. Okay, Deb says, need to remember the commitment statement. Yep, it's super important because that's how you get those comments coming in, right? Okay, let's see if there's any other questions here. The Go Live League is amazing. I love all the H's in there. Thank you, Stacy. The Go Live League is awesome. Okay, you guys, I just want to call out Amanda because this is a pretty cool call out here. She went from switching off mid-live. I remember that. The very first live she did, she was mid-sentence and she just shut it down. That's how nervous she was. And she swore she'd never do it again. Now she does it regularly. I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of you. Jamie is fantastic. We get real help every week live and support in the group. It really is that amazing. Okay. Christine says, I love Jamie. I love you too, Christine. I love it. I love it. Love the GLL. That's what we call it, the GLL or the league. Incredible value. Amanda says she'll talk to anybody if anybody wants to reach out to her. Oh my gosh, you guys, you're going to make me all, thank you for all of this. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, Tara says, what should be my target time for a go live? Okay. All right. Good question. It depends on where you're going live. Now, I know, Tara, you're going live on your personal profile. So I would say you want to be under 10 minutes. It's just because on your personal profile, there it goes. Okay, I'm back. All right. It doesn't say internet unstable, so maybe it's just sick. I don't know. Okay. Where was I? Oh, how long? Okay, so on your personal profile, your viewers are likely in the grocery store, in their car. They're not sitting down. This is not scheduled. And so they likely do not have the attention span to focus on you for much longer than that. So I would always say under 10 minutes. If you can get it under 5 minutes, if you can shoot for 2, 3, 4 minutes, that's probably your sweet spot there, okay, on a personal profile. If you are going live on a page or a group where you have a scheduled event and you are saying, I go live every Thursday at 12 o'clock and people can put it on their calendar and show up for that, which, by the way, if you've not done that, put that on your calendar now, because I go live and I share awesome stuff for free every Thursday at 12, okay? You can go longer there. What I would tell you is what's most comfortable for you. So if you're just starting out, I know, Terry, you're not, but if you're just starting out, shorter's better. It takes the pressure off. There's nothing that says that your live has to be 15 minutes long. If that's what's stressing you out, just share a tip for 2 minutes or 3 minutes. Okay? Now, if the question, Tara, or for anybody else is, no, I meant for this live for the challenge. 3 minutes is your goal. Not more, not less. Now, am I going to come crack a whip and be like, you were under or you were over? No, I'm just trying to focus you. Okay. So those of you that this is uncomfortable and you are learning, I want you to push yourself to talk more and try to hit 3 minutes. If you can't hit 3 minutes, I don't want you to worry about it. I don't want anybody being like, oh, okay, I'm only at a minute and a half, so I got to just keep talking. Oh, there's my neighbor's cat and it's really nice out. No, I don't want you doing that. I want you to get across your message, what you have planned, and don't worry about the time. I just want you to plan for something that would take around 3 minutes, okay? For those of you that tend to be verbose, you know who you are. Maybe you ramble and you go on tangents or whatever else. I want you to focus. It is way easier, if you're a talker, to go live longer. I want you to see if you can go live in a short period of time and get your point across. That's your goal. Okay? All right, Tara, hopefully that answered your question. Okay. Christine says, how do you stop the world so that you can make time to come to the meetings? Oh, Christine. Christine and I were joking yesterday, and she said, I think there should be a penalty. You all in the Go Lively, you'll have to let me know what you think of this. She's like, I think there should be a penalty that you have to pay more if you don't show up. I thought that was a great idea. I said, you can pay me in Starbucks gift cards. How's that for payment? But sometimes what Christine's basically saying is sometimes we get distracted by life and things happen and things get in the way. You might be distracted by your own mind. You might be distracted by your client, what you're working on or whatever else. It happens. It happens to all of us. And it's sometimes easy to say, I don't have time. I'm too busy. But the reality is it's about prioritization. And if you are, quite honestly, somebody, and this is not you, Christine, I'm just speaking to the group here. If you really don't want to go live because you've got some sort of obstacle in your way, it's not going to happen. And all of these other things are going to be prioritized in front of showing up for those sessions. Okay? So that's why I always tell you, don't put going live on your to-do list. Put it on your calendar, because if it's on your to-do list, it's going to be prioritized with everything else that's got going on. If you put it on your calendar and you make it as important as a client, you will show up for it. Okay. So think about this, Christine. You don't miss appointments for your clients, right? You're there. Now, granted, they're showing up and they're saying, here's my dog. Okay. So how do you create that same kind of thing since you show up for the meetings or you show up for whatever it is? You put it on your calendar. You put it in your appointment book. Put it in your appointment book, the same place you put in your appointments for your clients, and say, Jamie, put it in there. And then don't move it around. Now, are there extenuating circumstances? Things come up? Sure. But make that be not the norm. Make it be the exception. Just saying. Okay. Let's see what else it is. I love it. I love it so much. Okay. Life-changing experience. Best place to be. Some of the best people in this group. Oh, you're so nice. You guys are great. You're all making me all... Okay. April loves these tips. I'm glad. Work gets in the way. My own mind needs a tranquilizer. I forget. Yep. Set alarms. Set timers. Okay. All right. I had a couple other things I wanted to share. If you got other questions, ask them. Okay. All right, let's talk about this guy. Okay. Part of connecting with your audience is making them feel like the energy that you want to show up with. We talked about this a little bit on a call today. I've got some challenging things going on with my life. I was talking with Julie this morning in Messenger, and she's like, how are you still functional with all that going on? It's a choice we make, right? It's a choice we make that even if it feels like the sky is falling, you show up for your people and you choose the energy you want to show up with. It's not fake. It's not, it is me being real. And I want you all to feel like you need to be real on camera as well. But there is something that makes a huge difference. And that is deciding the energy you want to show up with. What do you want your viewers to think and feel when they're on a call with you? Now, I just know reading through some of these messages, this is exactly how I want people to feel. I want people to feel like Jamie is awesome and I learned so much from her and this is so much fun and I don't want to miss, and right? And so I have to show up with a certain energy in order to create that vibe. You do too. Sometimes it is the simplest things that make the biggest difference. And I like to call this thing resting Grinch face. Now, I will talk about this as we get into the holiday season because the Grinch is my favorite, but I'm going to talk about it right now. You may hear it, you may know it as something else, resting bee face, okay? But I like to use the Grinch because it's just way more fun. If you are showing up on camera and you are like the Grinch, okay? Maybe it's not that extreme. Maybe it's just, or maybe it's not even that big of a frown. Does this convey the energy you want your people to feel? Sometimes all it takes is a smile. Now, do I want you going through your video like this? I'm not going to change. I'll talk like this because I keep my smile. No, but I want you to remember how important it is to have a facial expression that conveys the emotion that you want. So sometimes, if this is you, I'm just saying, Post-it note, smiley face, write the word smile, put it right by your camera so that you remember to do the thing that you don't do. Okay, so not only if you're up for the challenge, when you go live for this Go Live Challenge this week, I want you to try and make sure that you're showing up with the energy that you want, and I want you to have a great big old smile on your face. Okay? If you are willing to take that challenge, type the word smile in the comments. See what I did just there? Okay, that's a call to action that actually helps you by getting more comments and not just, oh, yes, I'll do it. And I'll go and do it, and then maybe I'll come back and remember to do it or not, okay? So resting Grinch face is a real phenomenon, and you gotta watch for it. Now, sometimes that resting Grinch face happens because we are too in here. We are way too focused on what am I gonna say, and what's next, and what's my this part, and what's my this part, okay? And it happens, and it's okay. It's okay. You are learning. Give yourself a break. But there is something called the stages of competence. And I want to take just a minute and show this to you since we have the time and there are no other questions coming in. Okay. Oh, I do see Sharon's asking about boring. Next week, Thursday, my live is on how not to be boring and monotonous. So come back on Thursday to talk about boring and monotony. Okay. There are 4 stages of competence. And on one axis, you've got competence. And on the other, you have got, consciousness. Okay? Anytime you are learning something new, okay? So it doesn't have to be just videos. You're learning to knit. You're learning to golf. You're learning anything. Anything. You're learning a new recipe. You're learning how to color your own hair. You're learning anything you can think of. You go through all 4 of these stages. And I probably have this in the wrong order, so don't worry about the order. But the gist of it is, let me move this out of the way. The gist of it is that you start in the unconscious, incompetent box. Okay, you start here. What that means is you're not good at it, and you don't even know you're not good at it because you've never done it. Okay? And slowly but surely, you move your way around to here. Okay? So let's talk about each of those steps real quick. At this point here, you still suck. You're still not good at it. Oh, I drew my things on the wrong spot. Okay, hold on. I'm recognizing I'm backwards. I drew my axis and I didn't even pay attention to where my words were. Okay, so I start at, I'm unaware. I suck at it. I'm not competent. Hold on. And I'm not even aware of it. I'm going to go this way around. Okay? Which means now I move to the spot where I'm aware that I suck. Aware, suck. Okay? Not aware, and I suck. See the difference? Okay. And as I move around, now I'm getting better. I'm getting better at this. Maybe I'm even good at this. But I am aware. What that means is I have to think about every single thing that I'm doing in order to be good at it. What I want to move to is I am freaking awesome and I am unaware. Okay. In other words, I don't have to think about it. Unaware. That's the objective. Okay, so let me give you an example. When you brush your teeth, you don't have to think about it, right? You might even do it halfway in the dark. You just go in, you get the toothbrush, paste, water, and you just go and you do not think about the process. Okay, here's another example. A recipe. First time you make a brand new recipe, you're checking that sucker 15 times. Is it tablespoon, teaspoon? How much was it? You have to think about every single step. Now that you've made it 100 times, you didn't even think. You just throw that stuff in. You're on autopilot. That is where you're aiming to be at with video. But what happens is you get stuck. You get stuck here. Meaning, I got to think about every step I'm taking. And if I'm thinking about every step that I'm taking, it's not natural. It doesn't feel comfortable. It feels icky. And when that happens, what do? I'm never going to get this. I just can't get this. We beat ourselves up. The imposter syndrome creeps in and we self-sabotage. The reality is, look how close you are to getting it. The difference here, practice and feedback. Okay? Inside the Go Live League, you're going to get both. You have an opportunity to practice. You have an opportunity to get feedback. If you want to work with me even beyond the membership because you want more feedback, those opportunities exist. All you got to do is let me know you want to talk about it. I got group coaching programs. You can work with me one-on-one, whatever you need. Okay? That's the difference. That's how close we are here. So my call out to you is if you find yourself stuck here, do not give up, right? We talked about this the other day. Start, suck, get better. Don't give up when you suck. And don't not start because you're afraid to suck. The only way to get where you want to be is to get through it. I wish I had a magic wand and I could, but I can't. The best thing I can do is help you get there faster. Okay. Let me see if there's any questions. Did you like that? The 4 stages of competence? Was that cool? Did you like hearing about that? Okay. Where am I at on time? Okay. 2 minutes. I try to keep these to an hour. I have been known to go longer on Zoom calls, but this is a long life. Did you know that, nope, tangent. See what I did just there on the tangents? Stopped myself. We talked about this. Was this yesterday or the day before? I can't remember. Okay. Sharon says, how do you make peace and calm not boring? And is a soft smile enough? Okay. Is a soft smile enough? Yes. Most important is not to be somebody you're not. Okay. So this really comes into play when you're talking about energy, right? I don't want you to be like me. I don't want you to feel like in order to be successful going live, you have to be like, woo, it's so great, it's a party, it's awesome, let's do this. Ah! You don't have to be like that. You have to be what feels real and authentic to you. What you have to do, what you may have to push yourself to do is show emotion. Okay? So yes, here, let me show you, I'm going to show you a bad and good example. Okay? So obviously I just did the over the top example. I'm not going to do that again because that'd give me a headache. But what happens oftentimes, especially if you're stuck in your head and you're overthinking it, is that you're on video and you're going, hi, everybody. I'm really excited that you are here today. And I can't wait to show you this because it's going to change your life. Okay? Do you believe me? No. Okay? You're stuck in your head. Get out of your head. Get in your heart. Think about emotions. It can be a little smile. I am so glad you're here today. This can be transformational for you. This can make the biggest difference in your world. See how that's still soft? It's not over the top, but I'm giving the energy of how I feel. I'm sharing some of that emotion. That's what you got to work towards. Okay? Okay. And I don't know if that peace and calm was boring. I don't think it's boring. I don't think it has to be boring. Sometimes peace versus over the top, it depends on what your subject matter is and what it is that you're talking about. If you're talking about hard stuff or you're trying to help people calm down and de-stress, you need to be calm and peaceful, for sure. But you can still do it with a soft smile, and you can still pause and have emphasis and show some of those emotions. Okay. Some of that is in the Go Live League stuff as well. So you'll learn how to use props and how to pause and how to change your voice and all of those things. Okay. Christine says there is a lot to remember. Yep. But anytime you're learning something new, there's a lot to remember. There's a great book that I'm reading right now called The Gap and the Gain. Oh my gosh, we're way over on time. You know what? I'm going to save this for Monday because we're way over on time. I'm going to talk about the gap and the game on Monday. So, Christine, I will, let me make a note, because if I don't make a note, I'll forget. Christine, gap gain, Monday. Okay. And that was specific to lot to remember. Okay. Let's see if there's any other questions that I have to answer today. Okay, Christine, I'm going to talk about that on Monday too, because I feel like that's way more than we can do in a second, and I want to do it justice, because I think that's a really good thing that we should talk about, is what if the emotion is negative? What if the emotion is controversial? What if the emotion is, and how do you do that? So I will make that note as well, and we'll talk about both of those on Monday. Sound good? Okay. Thank you for those of you that are still with me for hanging on this long. Hopefully you have your homework. You know what you're doing. I am proud of you for just hanging in here with me and going through and learning hook, story, call to action. And for those of you that have done this Go Life Challenge multiple times, I'm proud of you. Sometimes it does take a little bit to get and practice and see it from a different perspective, or get this little nugget, and that makes all the difference. That's what good coaching should be like. There shouldn't be a race. There shouldn't be a pressure to do it. I just want you to start by trying this. And these are building blocks that you are learning as you go. Don't take the next one on until you've mastered this one. Okay? All right. If anybody has questions or needs anything, let me know. VIPs, you got an extra video today on camera angles. Tomorrow, you'll get the one on connecting random topics into your business. So look forward to that. All right. Everybody, have a great rest of your day. I can't wait to watch your lives. See you soon. Bye, guys.